Hi, and welcome to today's Advent calendar devotion. I hope your Advent is going well, you're enjoying time with family, and you're learning a little bit about Jesus from these Advent devotions that we're giving you. I have some figurines from my nativity scenes that I want to show you. Can you figure out who these guys are? What do you notice about them? They are all a little bit different, and but they all have something similar as well. What do you notice? I noticed that they're all holding something, right? They all have something that they're holding. This one has it down here. It's a little bit harder to see. He's got his hand on it. Here's that one. He's holding this, right? And what else do we notice about them? They kind of look like they might be bent, right? Like kneeling down or bowing their heads in front of somebody. This one, you can see his knee is bent and he's got his cloak is kind of down on the ground to show that he's kind of bent down. You can tell if you look at their faces, they don't all look exactly like we do, right? They look a little bit different. This one is really bent down. Here, he's got his hand on his knee even. His face is a little bit harder to see. And this one is, since it's knit, has no face, no eyes. These are, did you guess who they were? These are the wise men from our nativity scene. They come a little bit later in our story. They actually come after Jesus is born in Bethlehem and the shepherds, and they come to the manger. These guys come when Jesus is a little bit older and he is actually in a house and he's a toddler. So he's a little bit older, but we're going to talk about him. We can still learn something about him now, and we can learn about these guys. So if we know that he is in a house and he is a toddler, why are these guys bringing gifts? What are they doing? Why are they bringing gifts to him? Why are they bowing down to a toddler? We don't usually bow down to our 2-year-olds or our 3-year-olds. Usually we're asking them to do something. We're asking them to honor us. We're not bowing down to them even when we love them, right? So why are these guys doing that? I'm going to read from our text and see if we can have a clue about what is going on. Our text is from Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. So it says they go in and they worship him. That's why they're bowing down. They worship and they open their gifts to him. Now, these are gifts that would have been given to a king. They're pretty normal, regular gifts that you would give to somebody important and special. So that tells us that these wise men understood that Jesus was somebody important and special. We also can tell, since we noticed that they didn't all look the same or even all like us, we noticed that they traveled from far. These wise men had seen that special star that had guided them on their journey, that had stopped over the house to say, this is the place that you're going. They had watched that star that God put in the sky for them, and they followed it. They knew it meant something special. They were men that had studied the stars, so they knew what the stars showed them. They were men that knew the prophecies. Did they know that Jesus was God come to them, God as man incarnate? Maybe not. Maybe not, but they did know that Jesus was someone special. They knew that Jesus was someone different than them, that he was set forth as someone to be worshiped and honored. And so they brought gifts worthy of a king. They brought these frankincense, gold, and myrrh, gifts that are worthy of a king, and bowed down and worshiped this Jesus, even when they didn't fully understand. And so what that tells me, what joy that gives me, is that as I go about my day and I go about worshiping and looking to this Jesus, I don't have to have all the answers. God can still use me. God can still bring me into his family and love me, even when I don't understand everything. So as we look at our year, we go back in our year and we look forward to what is coming, we can say, God, we don't understand everything. We might even question whether you are working, whether you are God. That might be a question that comes up. And this story, these wise men, they show us that God loves us, that God uses outsiders, that he brings people that were not originally part of that Jewish nation, and he brings them into his story and uses them and blesses them. So as you go into the rest of your Advent, the rest of your Christmas, that's going to look a whole lot different than it has in the past. Know that God is using you, that he loves you, no matter if you understand everything that's going on. He loves you. He cares for you. He uses you, even when we don't understand. Blessings on the rest of your Advent journey and Christmas celebration.